Does it seem to anyone else like Kyle Snyder is just kind of like one of the most slept on goats of all time in the sport of wrestling? It feels that way. And maybe that's partially how Kyle operates and how Kyle carries it. He's not a big social media guy, under the radar, very humble, just goes out and wins. And I think what we lose perspective of, and what even I do, is the stranglehold he has had domestically and how rare it is, right? So he has made 9, but in a way 10 straight teams. And you want to put that in perspective. The most Jordan Burroughs ever made in a row was 9. And Kyle has either matched or surpassed, depending on how you look at it, because so he made the 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 21 Olympic team. And then because he medaled, he was automatically on the 21 world team. And he made 22, 23, 24. So 10 teams, potentially. 9 if you take away the one he was sort of automatically on. I count it, though, because he medaled. That was sort of the wrestle off there. But not only has he made 10 in a row, he's got 9 straight medals. He's medaled every single time. That's an insane level of consistency, right? To come back with a medal, and he's sitting out every single year. But I went back and was like, how much has he even been challenged for these spots? 15, 16 was kind of the closest it ever was when it was Jake Varner, who was the reigning Olympic champion from 2012. It was a huge upset in 2015 at the US Open. I was like, oh my gosh, he just beat Jake Varner. I think it was 2-1. It's kind of close. And then he beat him twice at the World Team Trials in 2015. And then in 16, it was Varner who actually took a match from him. Won 4-4 in the first match, but then Snyder ran away from him. But listen to these numbers. Okay, so in all the 2 out of 3s he's wrestled in, sort of been like 9 of those at this point, opposition has scored 15 total points. Total. That's in like, what? 9 times 2, 18, plus 3. So like around 20-some matches, they've scored 15 points. Kyle has scored 126. So no one is close. He's got multiple techs in the matches. These aren't round 1 US Open matchups. This is the best 2 out of 3. This is the best America has to offer. And Kyle Snyder has just been, he stood head and shoulders above. And that was, he's had some greatness sort of around him in his sphere. We kind of always thought he and Jaden would kind of go back and forth for spots, but that never really materialized, right? This year, it seemed like they were the 2 best guys at the 24 trials. Jaden didn't make it to him and winds up retiring after losing to Colin Moore. And then last year, Jaden made it to Final X, but had to forfeit because of an injury. And then, of course, 2021, everyone remembers what happened there with the weigh-in saga. So Snyder has just been without rival for so many years, which is just incredible. And it's hard to envision a scenario where he doesn't come home with another medal. And I'm excited to see him get another crack at Tazudinov of Bahrain, but really Russia. Will he get another crack at Sadulayev is a huge question, because Sadulayev has been denied entry into multiple countries over the last year. He wasn't able to go to Euros. He wasn't able to go to the Euro Olympic Games qualifier. So now, for the Russian Wrestling Federation, there are real questions. Will they let Abdul Rashid Sadulayev, maybe the greatest wrestler of all time, wrestle at the Olympics? Because he has a military affiliation of some kind that goes against the IOC policies for the involvement in the war. So it's tough to say if we'll see Sadulayev there. But the biggest challenge right now is Tazudinov, the guy that teched Kyle Snyder, which is something that has been rarely seen. So we're hopeful for that matchup. That'll be a lot of fun. Kyle says he's had to adapt some things as he prepares for Tazudinov. But I do think other challengers domestically could be looming for Kyle Snyder, because I don't see Aaron Brooks holding 86 very long. I think he made it here. He'll obviously make it for the Olympic Games, but is he going to stay at 86 long term? I'm not sure that's something he wants to do. But then again, when you're the guy sitting out, which if Aaron Brooks comes back with a medal, which a lot of people, myself included, believe he's going to do, and he could win a gold one. If he does that, Well, then he's got to buy all the way to the end. Then you're making weight one time. And is that his bag? I don't know. Those are decisions that he'll have to weigh because that buy is such an advantage. And if Kyle comes home with a medal, then he's got to kind of take the long route back to the world team if he wants to go 97. But I think sooner, rather than later, we'll see Aaron Brooks eventually make that move up to 97 kilograms. But I was just thinking about the dominance of Kyle Snyder, how appreciated, under the radar maybe he is, but truly in consideration for a Mount Rushmore wrestler for Team USA. He's like 28 years old. We're not coming on the home stretch here. This is a guy who said he wanted to wrestle in 5 Olympics, and he just made his 3rd. And so we're incredibly lucky that we have someone as great as Kyle Snyder who's been able to hold down a weight and be a model of consistency and a model of sportsmanship, great guy. And yeah, rooting for Kyle in Paris and excited for the future battles to come for him, whether they're domestically or international.